Fears of North Korea's nuclear capabilities has risen drastically in the year of 2017. Estimates of the country's nuclear stockpile vary. Some experts believe North Korea has between 15 and 20 nuclear weapons, while US intelligence believes that that number is between 30 and 60. Now, in this episode of FTD Facts, I'm looking at North Korea's military power on a whole to give you an idea of just how powerful this country is. Hey guys, I'm Leroy Kenton and welcome back to another exciting episode of FTD Facts. Now, if you're new to FTD Facts, we have videos on how powerful Russia is, as well as Pakistan, India, and Canada. But we also cover in great detail other aspects of the different cultures in various countries around the world, as well as we share facts with you about your favorite people, and we get a little bit scientific sometimes. So basically what I'm saying, there's a lot of stuff to learn here in FTD Facts, so go ahead and subscribe. Now, before I get into North Korea's military power and all the things going on in regards to their military and what they're developing, I got a question for you guys. Let me know down below in the comments, what are your thoughts about North Korea? Now, North Korea ranks 23rd in the world in terms of military power, and in regards to their defense budget, nobody really knows exactly how much North Korea spends on their military, but their estimated defense budget is totaled at $7.5 billion. It is also estimated that North Korea spends more than 20% of its gross domestic product on its military. Now, that percentage is more than twice as much as any other country, according to the CIA fact book. Now, when we add up the total manpower in North Korea, their total population sits at 25.4 million people. They have 13 million people available for military. Their total military personnel right now is at 6.4 million people. The reserve personnel sits at 5.5 million. And now I want to move into the air to see what North Korea is working with up there. They have 458 total fighter aircrafts. In terms of attack aircrafts, that number sits at 572. North Korea has 100 transport aircrafts, and their total helicopter strength is at 202. North Korea also has 20 attack helicopters, and these aircrafts are largely Chinese-built J-5s, J-6s, and J-7s, dating back to as late as 1950s and 1960s. It also has some more up-to-date MiG-21s, as well as MiG-23s and a smaller number of MiG-29s. Now let's look at their army strength. So the total number of combat tanks that they have is 5,025. Their armored fighting vehicles are at 4,100. And when we look at the rocket projectors, that is at 2,400. They have a lot of self-propelled artillery because that number sits at 2,250, and their towed artillery sits at 4,300. Okay, now when we look at the Navy strength, their frigates that they have total at just 11. North Korea is working with 2 corvettes. The total number of submarines that they have is 76. When we look at the mine warfare vessels, that number is at 25 for North Korea. And their aircraft carriers, well, for their Navy, they have 0, and they also have 0 destroyers. When we look at the logistics in North Korea, the major ports and terminals that they have are 8, and they have 82 serviceable airports. Their labor force is huge at 14 million. And I believe, as I mentioned at the beginning of this video, North Korea ranks at 23 in terms of global military power, and it has the biggest military per capita in the world. They have 48.8 active duty military members per 1,000 members of their population. That is 10 times higher than the United States, and it's the highest in the world. So for the size, North Korea is really packing a lot when it comes to military power. But what really is the driving force behind North Korea's military development? Well, North Korea has several guiding principles such as Juche, which is self-reliance, and Sogun, which is military-first politics. And the military plays a real central role in terms of politics, and its status has been steadily rising through the Kim dynasty. Now, when it comes to nuclear weapons, this is a hot topic with North Korea right now. North Korea has a record of missile sales and nuclear technology sharing with countries like Iran, Libya, Syria, Egypt, Vietnam, Yemen, United Arab Emirates, and Myanmar. Besides North Korea's nuclear developments, what is also known is that North Korea possesses a very active chemical weapons program. And it's believed that the weapons include sulfur, mustard, chlorine, sarin, and VX nerve agents. Nothing else is really known about what kind of weapons they actually have or how much of it they have, which of course is a huge concern considering that chemical warfare is very tricky to combat. Since the 1980s, North Korea has also been actively developing its cyber warfare capabilities. When we take a look back in the year 2014, Bureau 121, which is the elite North Korean cyber warfare unit, comprises of approximately 1,800 highly trained hackers. In December of 2014, the Bureau was accused of hacking Sony and making threats leading to the cancellation of the movie The Interview. You probably remember it. It was that comedy movie based on the assassination of Kim Jong-un. James Franco and Seth Rogen starred in that movie. And after the cancellation in theaters, they decided to just put it straight on Netflix. As tensions recently have risen with North Korea and the United States especially, North Korea has a few probable strategies to assert itself as a powerful nation if combat time comes. So, in the past, North Korea has used its nuclear capabilities as bargaining chip. Experts believe North Korea could try to gain some economic benefits or get food assistance or energy assistance of some sort. We would also likely see North Korea convincing other countries that it would be prepared to be the first to use nuclear weapons. So what would this do? Well, this would allow them to exert power over other countries rather than going on the defensive, which would give them the potential to either force a settlement or gain the upper hand in other ways. Now, of course, this would be a very risky tactic because depending on how much North Korea asserts itself, it could push the US to attack. However, US President Donald Trump makes it clear that this would not be the preferred option, to go on the attack, but rather it would be the second option. And I quote the words of Donald Trump: "We're totally prepared for the second option. Not a preferred option, but if we take that option, it will be devastating. I can tell you that. Devastating for North Korea. That's called the military option. If we have to take it, we will." And that right there concludes this episode on how much power North Korea actually has and what's going on in terms of their military developments and what that means for the rest of the world. This episode of FTD Facts is brought to you by Grammarly.com. Grammarly is a world-leading software in improving your written English. There's hundreds of spelling and grammatical errors loaded into Grammarly, so if you install the software and you make one of these errors, it will automatically correct it for you. The link to that is down below where you can install Grammarly for free. You can start using it right away. We use it here on FTD Facts to, improve our English because being a native speaker, a lot of times I make some stupid mistakes. Grammarly really helps out with that. In conclusion, North Korea has made a lot of enemies over the years. North Korea's close relation with China, one of the most powerful nations on Earth, has also declined over the years. After North Korea's most recent nuclear tests in September 2017, China called on North Korea to stop taking these wrong actions that exasperated the situation and are not in its own interest. However, China still continues to have a very significant economic tie with North Korea. Even so, as the decline of favorability towards North Korea grows, their military expansion and weapons testing increases. What is most concerning to other nations is that very little is really known about what else North Korea is up to. The mystery surrounding the nation truly does serve as a strategic advantage for them. Hey, and for all of you soldiers that made it to the end of another FTD Facts episode, here are some other military power videos that you can check out. As well as we have videos about the different countries where we covered the various aspects of the cultures and histories around the world. So you can check those out as well. Be sure to come back here every Monday to Friday for new episodes, and I'll see you guys real soon.